The girl had been blind and unable to speak since birth. When she felt hungry, she survived on moldy bread because her mother had abandoned her long ago. One day, she sensed a familiar smell of smoke drifting through the room. She believed her mother had returned. Crawling out from beneath the table, she carefully felt her way across the floor and reached out to greet the person standing there. But when she hugged him, her fingers touched a rough, unfamiliar beard. Startled, she pulled away and hid under the table. The man, tears filling his eyes, didn't leave. He softly told her he was her father and soon began living in the same house. The girl couldn't understand who he was or why he had come. At first, she recognized him only by the sound of his footsteps and kept her distance. Music. One day, she smelled food and instantly knew it was her favorite dish, but she remembered her mother's warning never to take food from strangers. She searched for her moldy bread again, only to realize it was gone. When the man offered her noodles, she panicked. Music knocked them to the floor and rushed back under the table. That was when she realized he had thrown away all the spoiled bread. Music and brought fresh food just for her. Slowly, she began to understand that he hadn't come to hurt her. Little by little, she moved Music closer and started eating the food he prepared. Over time, she grew attached to him. At night, she would quietly crawl over and lie beside him. Memories of her mother returned and she cried softly. A few days later, she fell ill. When the man noticed, he rushed her to the hospital and stayed awake all night, caring for her. After she recovered, he bought her learning materials. Holding her hand, he taught her by tracing letters onto her palm. Every time she learned a word correctly, he gently placed his hand on her head. Before long, she had learned many words. One day, she traced a message onto his home. "Thank you." But their happiness didn't last. One day, people came and said the house would be sealed because her mother's debts had not been paid. With no other choice, the man took her to an orphanage. The girl's heart felt unbearably heavy. Before leaving, the man placed a piece of bread into her hand. Then, suddenly, the familiar smell she relied on began to move away. Panicking, she stepped forward and hit a glass wall. She began pounding on it, knowing the man was standing on the other side. She didn't want to be separated from him. Then the door opened and the man wiped away her tears. Holding his hand, she traced a word onto his palm. "Dad." At that moment, the man's eyes filled with tears. He promised that no matter what happened, he would never leave her alone again. Dad always best. If you like my video, please subscribe.